Hey friends, I'm Annabelle Trades, and I am here as part of Global MakerFest. My friends at Arbortech asked me to go live for an hour today, and I've actually never gone live on YouTube before, so I'm not 100% how to do it. But I just wanted to welcome anyone to ask me any questions, and if no one has any questions to ask me, then I will offer some unsolicited advice and talking points. So hello, hello, hello. Let me just check and make sure that I'm doing things the right way. Hold, please. Oh, hi. Hello, Stu. Hello, everyone. Excellent. Hey, Fred, what's up? Hey, Steve. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to live also announce on Instagram that I'm live on here so that people can come join us from there if they would choose to. Hey, Instagram, I am live on YouTube right now for Arbortech's Global MakerFest, so come on over and hang out with me on YouTube. We are going to hang out in my little shop, do a little shop tour, and also just talk about life and making things and whatever else happens to come up. See you over there. All right. Glorious, 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 glorious. All right, so what should we talk about? We literally just get to hang out together here in my tiny little woodworking shop. I'm so pumped that you all are here. I hope you're all staying home, staying safe. Oh, hey, John from Arbortech. What's up? Hey, Silver Lining Woodworks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm probably going to butcher these names, but Athlon Duke, a Sloan Duke. I'm not sure, but anyway, hey, thanks for joining us from Ireland. Hey, Todd Lewis. Hey, Troy from Arbortech. Hey, Brian from Arbortech. Hey, Jason Christophilos. How's it going? Becky Heineman. Hello, hello, hello. I think that we need to actually invite the donkeys and the goats to join us in here. So I'm going to just go open the shop door and ask them to come in. I opened the door. Hopefully they'll come back in. Can everyone hear me okay? I am using this to hopefully mitigate some of the echoing, but of course I lost the other one while I was planting some stuff in the garden, so oops. Anyway, okay, yeah, someone wants to know about the organization board behind me. That is actually a perfect thing to talk about. So I call myself Annabelle Trades. That's not because I'm necessarily actually really good at a lot of trades, but I do put my hand to a whole lot of things. And one of the ways that I stay organized is by having a physical representation of all the things that I'm doing and all of the ideas that I have. This may come as a shock to some of the people that saw me struggling to even figure out how to go live right now, but I'm not very tech savvy. I used to work in tech actually, but I was more on the marketing and operations side of things, not in actually programming computers and things, so I really don't know how to operate computers or technological things very well. Thankfully, my husband is pretty good at that. But all that to say that I tried doing a digital calendar, I tried doing Trello, I tried doing a whole lot of things to keep me organized, but actually having something that was physical became very, very important for me. So I have also a physical planner. It drives people that have to make appointments with me on a regular basis absolutely nuts because they can't see my physical planner, and I'm not very good at keeping my Google Calendar or anything updated. But what those boards are is it's actually a business principle that comes from the tech industry. It's called Scrum analysis. So if you want to read on that, there are a bunch of books you can get from your library on Scrum analysis. It's SCRUM analysis. And it basically is a way of organizing the tasks that you are doing at different points. So one that you don't see over there, which like I don't know if I can, I don't think I can zoom, but there's a calendar right there. And behind that calendar is all of the dream ideas. Like someday I would like to do this. But the calendar hides those because that can make it look really, really scary and intimidating. Next to that is what's called this week's sprint. And that is what we would like to do this week, what I'm going to try to get to this week. And then the one next to it is what I'm doing today. And the one next to that is what I've actually already done. And so with all of this, with this system, any thought that pops up into my head gets put onto a note card. And so I carry, you can actually see it right here, I have a Sharpie and a fountain pen, a pile of note cards, and a thing of Post-its with me at all times. If I think of something that I just basically need to remember, I put it on these note cards, and then that gets moved into a journal or something else. If it's something that I need to do, it's a note card, and I write down the task, and also not actually how hard it is from 1 to 10, but actually how much emotional energy it takes to accomplish the task. And so with this note card, if it's something that's, an email that I need to send, I mean, sending an email is really easy, you would think, but if it involves some emotional attachment or something like that, it will be assigned a higher point value. Or if like I want to plant the garden, but I have to count on someone else to till the garden and to do all these other things, then that gets a higher point, assignment, because it's just harder to tackle that point. So with all of that, we have tried to figure out how many points it's logical for me to tackle every week. And each week we're trying to make that a little bit more, quantifiable. So right now we're at like 100 points a week is about what I can get done. So every time I do one of those tasks, I take it and we add points to the done pile. We tally those up at the end of the week, and we reevaluate for next week. And it's not all about like trying to get the most points or anything like that, but literally just trying to figure out how we can best organize my time, attention, and everything else. And I'm talking down to the tiniest detail. Basically, if I have to go get toilet paper from the house to put in the bathroom, that gets a Post-it note, because then I can take that off the wall. I take the note up to the house. Even if I get distracted 50 times on my way up to the house, then I still am holding the note, which reminds me why I went up there. And then, I grab the toilet paper, bring it down, put that on the done pile, and then that goes into my, basic tally for the week. So anyway, that's what that is. It's called Scrum Analysis. Once again, for those who have just joined, it is a fantastic way to keep track of the tasks that we do. And someone asked, well, who is we? Well, currently we is me, because we've been in isolation or quarantine for 3 weeks now. But generally speaking, I have a team of different people that come at different points in the week. Some of them are full-time. I have 2 full-time employees. Jacqueline does videography and video editing for me. She is amazing. Check her out, Intertwine Media. If you like the videos that we've been putting on the YouTube channel for the last few weeks, that's huge thanks to Jacqueline, because she's been doing an amazing job with those. Another thing about that too is that thankfully this system has allowed us to get really, really ahead in our video production schedule. So even though it is a major bummer that like she can't come and we can't keep making videos right now, we were actually many, many videos ahead when all of this took place. So thankfully she's got plenty of editing work, so I can continue to pay her. And I mean, even if she runs out of that stuff, I will still continue to pay her because she relies on me for her living. And then I also, my friend Josh Nava, who you may, if you're on Instagram, may know as 365 Spoons or Josh Nava. He is awesome. He is an extremely talented artist, and he actually is just basically helping me get my business together. So he, helped me set this whole system up when we moved here. and he does a lot of really delightful photography. If you've been on my Instagram page at Ann of All Trades, there as well, you can see some of his photography. We haven't done a whole lot of that yet because we've just been doing other stuff. But the real reason that I hired him is because he is good at all of the other things that I do that are not even business related. He's good at farming. He's good at woodworking. He's good at carving. He has run lots of small businesses before. He's really good at graphic design. And so if you've actually, oh wait, I'm not flashing you, don't worry. But the new Milk Dud shirts are here. So if you guys want some Milk Dud merchandise, you can go check that out. Josh made all of that, and he does a really good job with that stuff. So basically, he's great. So that's who he is. A lot of people assume that my husband helps me or does a lot of the stuff for me, but he actually works in tech. His job and his livelihood and everything else is completely separate from mine. And he is very, very verbally supportive of the farm, but it is not his thing, and that is absolutely okay. All right, so we've got some other Scrum fans. Love seeing that. Sorry, I am not super good at reading comments and talking. I'm dyslexic, and so takes a little bit of focus. So I'm sorry if I miss important questions here. If I miss it too many times, just keep asking. Oh, Mike, you have a groove ring too. Groove is awesome. I love them. I've been wearing this for a couple years. I absolutely love it. Oh, I hear some chirping. Maybe some goats will come and join us. Milk Dad! Probably just the naughty ones will come in. Seattle misses me. I absolutely miss Seattle too. I will say that the weather here is pretty amazing, and I am thankful that we have more acreage right now, especially since we will be trapped at home for the indefinite future. Oh, hey, Brenda Lee, come on in. Yeah, here we go. We'll get some good people to join. So, Scrum analysis. Yes, people love it. Dream ideas, secret plans. Yes. All right, sorry, I'm still trying to read comments here. Come on, Milk Dud. Seriously, come on, Milk Dud. Hey, get out of there. Milk Dud. All right. Oh, okay, so Nate McLaughlin wants to know about some spoon carving stuff. Incidentally, I have a lot of my spoon carving stuff on my bench right now because I'm not able to do very many big projects, but I have been doing some spoon carving. So this is actually what I would recommend. Like a hook knife is great, but they are, it's somewhat more difficult to get a hold of. Do you see Brenda Lee over in the corner there ruining my life? Anyway, this is great. This is a file number 8 bent gouge. And this is, I'll actually also just quickly show you how I sharpen it as well, since I've got it right here. This is called a strop. It's a piece of leather, which is glued to a piece of wood. And this is some polishing compound. If you keep polishing compound on the leather, you can use this. And this will create a very, very small burr on the opposite side. But my lens, goats are so troublesome. Anyway, so yeah, file PFIEL, Swiss made number 8, 13 sweep bent gouge for carving. Like I said, I have a lot of hook knives and other things for spoon carving, but that is probably the most versatile and easy to maintain thing that you can have. Favorite decade of country music, obviously the 50s and 60s, and that goes for all music, absolutely. Someone wants to know where I get my hoodies. Sadly, I am not sponsored by this company. In fact, they actually went out of business. They were called Nakatano, and they have now rebranded as Wanakome, but they're no longer available on Amazon. And since I hate shopping, and I would, even outside of a pandemic, never go shopping anyway, I will not be going to a mall to get those. So I guess, thankfully, Adam got me a lot of these when they were going out of business on sale. So that was great. All right, let's see here. Oh, yeah, you guys all have to get this Milk Dud shirt. It is awesome. I absolutely love it. Oh, it's a beautiful day in Middle Tennessee for sure. In fact, we just got the garden plot tilled up. I cannot wait. In fact, not to take away from this, but I did just publish a video on YouTube. So after all of the global MakerFest activities have subsided, head on over to my channel if you want. I made a video that was basically like, hey, I have some things that I need to plant. I don't have my garden ready yet, but I have some dirt and a shovel. What can I put in the ground right now? Because I don't know about a lot of you, but you know, just being quarantined and stuff has made me definitely really homesick for how self-reliant I was when I was really set up in Seattle. And so could you please hold on one quick second? Get out of here. If you can't behave, you can't be in here. Where's my goats? I tell you what. Ah! Well, I mean, okay. So someone says to beware of the humidity this summer. Actually, I will definitely tell you that a big reason I moved to the South was for health purposes. I have a circulation disorder, cold weather, and does not agree well with my body, which is actually why I wear these sweatshirts all the time. So I'm very excited. Also, I used to live in Taiwan, which I'm pretty sure has hotter summers and more humidity than Tennessee. So I think we'll be just fine. Taylor Durgan says, I wish I could have met you in Seattle. I would absolutely love to still meet you in Seattle. Once all of this craziness passes, I will be going back quite frequently to visit. Daryl and Penny, the people who bought our farm in Seattle, actually have created a very open invitation for me to go back and check up on the property. So I'll definitely make a video. He's since finished the tiny house and finished a bunch of other projects that I wanted to do, which is really exciting, because that property did have so much potential. It's just a matter of, you know, they have, quite frankly, the finances to do a lot of the things that I had really wanted to do for a long time there. So I am really excited to see some of that happen. Oh, my lands, we might get some milk dud. I see her trying to come in. Here we go. Here we go. When will you see work done on the motorbike? To be totally honest, that is pretty much the lowest of the low priorities right now. I am currently working on building a 5,000 square foot. What are you doing? We'll just wait for Milk Bed to come and the other ones can stay up. Anyway, I'm currently working on building a 5,000 square foot building right now that's going to become an education center for woodworking and homesteading and other things. I'll give you a sneak preview of the plans for that. I cannot wait for so many reasons. The thing that I am most excited about with that building is the opportunity that it's going to give me to be able to help some of my friends that don't have the audience size that, the audience size that I do, that would still like to make money through making content. We're going to be doing a bunch of classes that you can pay to be a part of, and we're going to hopefully be able to really beautifully and artistically capture their collective skill sets in ways that people can access their knowledge base online. And so that's one of the things that I'm most excited about doing with that facility. Giving some of my artist friends that don't have other sources of income besides producing physical objects, the opportunity for another source of income. So that's something I'm very, 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 very excited about. We are working on the truck from time to time because I actually don't have a car here. I drive my golf cart around, and I mean, suddenly we don't have to go anywhere anyway. So I guess the golf cart will do for the inevitable future. But I really do want to get my 1953 Chevy truck restored to the point that it's safe to drive in case I do actually need to go somewhere. All right, what else do we have? How long do I sleep? Okay, actually sleep is very, very important to me. I struggle pretty greatly with anxiety and depression, and those things get really, really bad when I don't get a full 8 hours every night. I actually have an alarm on my phone that reminds me 40 minutes before it's time to go to bed to actually do that. And so when I lived in Seattle, I pulled a ton of all-nighters, and I was working very, very hard. I was working several jobs for several years to try to kind of kickstart this whole business. And so I had to just basically sacrifice sleep sometimes so that I could meet a deadline or whatever else. But now that we are here, I don't have the luxury of not sleeping. And so, yeah, 8 hours every night, drink tons of water. I try to drink at least a gallon of water every day. That really, really helps with a lot of things too. Eating healthy, exercising, shoving your face into a pile of baby animals. That always really, really helps. Yeah, I'm trying to get Howdy on the stream, but he was over there eating some delicious grass over there, and he didn't seem too excited. But I will try to get him on before too long. Okay. So someone asked, when does the new shop begin? It actually already has begun. We're currently obviously on hold until we know more about the scope and span of the pandemic, because obviously I'm not going to be having people come here to work because we're here in quarantine. And I will be actually doing a lot of the building myself. It's just that I don't have the equipment or the knowledge about how to get the pad for the building done. And so once the pad is done and the posts are set for the big building, I will be doing a lot of that work myself after that. But we're kind of on hold until that, until we know what's going on next. All right. Does the new shop come with a fire pole? Oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. I absolutely would love to put a fire pole in there, and I pretty much have to now, so let's definitely do that. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, so someone else asked about the hoodie. It's Nakatano. You can get them from Wanakome now, but I don't know where you can buy them because they don't have them online. Or maybe they do, but I haven't had a chance to look. Wyatt Holiday, I will definitely come to LA. I actually usually do come to LA every year, but all of the, things have been canceled indefinitely. So, and someone asks why we don't see more of my husband. It is because he, first of all, is not involved in the farm, the shop, or the projects in any way, but also because he is a pretty private person. He is he's the person who told me I should do all this. He, bought me my first laptop so that I could make a website and all that stuff. But he does not like to be on camera, and that is 100% fine and understandable. And to be totally honest, there wouldn't be a whole lot of things that he would be on camera for anyway, because I try to focus a lot of my stuff on the things that we're doing. And, he has his own job and his own stuff that he does. All right. Let's see. Steve says that their bunny is not feeling seeing the animals. Any tips on building a modular table saw area? I wish I had some tips on that. I actually don't have, I do have a table saw. It's in storage though, because I don't have a big, this is my shop actually. So, this is not a great, beautiful way to show it, but this is the full extent of my current woodworking shop. There are obviously no power tools in here because I also have my computer and all my camera equipment in here, and that wouldn't really do well. But yeah, quickest shop tour ever. There you go. You just got to see the whole thing. Yes. How long have I been homesteading? So I actually started woodworking and homesteading and all this stuff at the exact same time. 8 years ago, I moved from Taipei, Taiwan to Seattle, Washington, and that was the first time in my life that I had ever had a garage or disposable time or income. And I was like, all right, well, I have always wanted to have my own shop. My grandfather had a shop when I was a kid, but he passed away when I was a kid. And so I remembered loving working with my hands and working with him in his shop. But I had never had really, access as an adult to tools or to land or anything else. So I dug up our backyard. I converted our garage into a shop. We were absolutely dead broke at that time. I saved up $300 and I started buying tools on Craigslist. And I would buy a broken tool, I would fix it, and then I would resell it for a profit. And that's how I kind of like upgraded my way into having a working toolkit. And basically did the same thing in the garden. Like I started just literally turning the grass upside down with a shovel, putting seeds in it and seeing, what was going on there and what worked and what didn't work. One thing about the shop, as I was upgrading my tools and taking things apart, that actually gave me a really awesome heads up and kind of turned me into a really discerning customer when it came to tools, because I have had taken apart and fixed just about every kind of tool that there is at this point. And so that's why, companies like Home Depot have me do tool testing and tool reviews for them, is because I've now, 8 years later, used them all, abused them all. My tools get put through a really weird assortment of like getting knocked off of ladders by donkeys and just accidentally getting run over by tractors. When I was in Seattle, I often would lend them to my friends who would leave them out in the rain or like whatever else. And so I've become, like I said, just a very discerning customer when it comes to tools, just by having used so many. But the actual question, sorry, I got sidetracked, was how long have I been homesteading? So the answer to that is 8 years, but I would say I've been seriously doing it for 5 years. Because, like I said, when we were living in the suburbs in Seattle, we had like this quarter-acre plot with a 2-car garage. That was my shop. And then I dug up the backyard, turned that into my garden. It had an HOA, even though it wasn't a nice neighborhood at all. It had an HOA that said you couldn't have chickens. So I actually joined the HOA and got secret chickens and like basically used my involvement in that organization to circumvent the law there. And I had my secret chickens, and I raised rabbits and raised a garden there. 3 years after that, so 5 years ago, we bought 4 acres in Seattle, and it was an absolute garbage dump when we bought it. I had to take 6 dump truck loads worth of trash off the property basically right away. And yeah, it was not great, and I didn't really know what I was doing yet, but I figured the best way to learn would be to try. I wish I could show you my bookshelf up here, but we used to live by a library. And so I checked out every single book on woodworking and gardening, welding and fabrication that I could find. And I would read them cover to cover, and just pick up any information that I could. But really the best teacher for any kind of craft or farming or anything that you do with your hands is just literally doing it. And so that's what I try to convey with a lot of my videos, is that I most certainly am not the expert at a lot of things, but I am more than happy to try things that I'm not good at and to be humbled by that attempt. But the thing is, with a lot of this stuff, it's not rocket science. It's just something that you get better at the more that you try. And so, yeah, first animals and everything were basically 5 years ago, aside from those secret chickens and rabbits that I had. One other little side note is, no, I didn't grow up with this stuff. Like I said, my grandfather had a wood shop, but my parents growing up, well, they still are, but are full-time missionaries. And so we would travel, and we spent quite a lot of time living abroad. So having animals or livestock or pets or even gardens that needed to be meticulously maintained was not an option for us, simply because of our travel schedules. So, I mean, I got my first dog, my first dog was Abby, our first dog that we got after we got married. And along with Abby, I got 80 other farm animals right away on that acreage that we had in Seattle. And so I definitely learned some hard lessons. I think like the hardest lesson to learn is when you take on too much too quick, and you fail in some regard because you just are trying to do too much. And so that's definitely a big failing that I've had before, is trying to take on too much and just not doing well with that. So do I have a favorite style of gardening? Yes, I absolutely do. It's called Back to Eden gardening, and it's super simple. It's using basically wood chips and organic matter to augment your soil and to add necessary nutrients and microorganisms and mycelium and all kinds of other things. So definitely check out Back to Eden gardening. I actually also have on my channel a very large playlist of gardening videos that talk about everything from how to just start from absolute scratch with your garden to having a large scale CSA type garden like I had in Seattle, to how to amend your soil, how to have a weed-free garden, how to not have to worry about weeds and those kinds of things. So definitely check out some of my older videos, and we're gonna actually be doing that all again here. So I'll definitely be documenting that journey as well. But check out Back to Eden gardening. I absolutely love it. It makes for a very productive, fertile, weed-free, non-watered, delightful garden. And yeah, huge fan of Back to Eden gardening. All right, what else? Any plans to blacksmith a dual bottle holder for feeding lambs? Ooh, Fred, that's a great idea. I probably wouldn't do it like in the blacksmith shop, although that kind of would be fun. And I do actually happen to have some stuff, so maybe we do need to forge a bottle heater or bottle holder for the lambs. But the lambs, I actually there's a little device you can use that's a bucket that feeds them, and I tried teaching them how to use it the other day, but they just want me to hand feed them, and I mean, that's all right. They only stay this little for so long, so it's pretty cute. Will April be helping me with my new building? I certainly hope so. Again, I'm not sure what's going to go on with travel restrictions and what's going to be safe during the building process, but hopefully everyone stays home and stays safe, and that we can kind of resume normal life soon. And I would absolutely just be so tickled if she were able to come and help, because she obviously knows a thing or two about it. Secret chicken definitely means no roosters. Actually, let me also tell you a funny story. Well, anyway, I actually had a secret rooster, but I thought it was a hen, and I got educated really quickly. That was back with my first set of chickens. Also, speaking of roosters and chickens, guess what? I got my first egg today from my chickens, which is so exciting, especially right now because, I haven't left my house in 3 weeks. I haven't been to the grocery. Things are getting a little sparse around here. And it was so miraculous to go out and to find my first egg today. So actually, speaking of eggs and chickens, some things you can, stay tuned for on the channel. If you want to watch these things kind of take place in real time, you can definitely go check me out on Instagram at @AnnabelleTrades there as well. But the next thing we're doing is actually, I'm right now in my office, which is in my barn, and we're going to make and by we, I mean currently me, but whoever else happens to be able to come over before that project is done. We'll see what goes on, but it's probably just gonna be me at this point, let's be honest. Anyway, I'm going to build a chicken coop that is a miniature replica of this barn. And spoiler alert, it also is a mobile chicken coop, which is huge because we're doing permaculture farming. So I'm gonna be moving the chickens all the time, so their little coop will move from place to place. But I can tow it with my golf cart. So that's something that I'm really excited about, really excited to share with you. So very long-winded answer to your question about the lambs, Fred, but hey. All right. Secret Chicken Society, yes, please. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Sorry, I lost track of things. How much and when do you read a day? Well, I used to read a book every single day. I have actually, unfortunately, gotten out of that habit the last year or so, and that makes me really sad because I love reading. However, I do listen to audiobooks all the time, and so I'm still not keeping up on the one a day thing, but I try to at least listen to books as much as possible. And the other thing too is I'm dyslexic, so reading takes a lot more mental energy, which is kind of why I haven't done it for a long time. Because I just have so much else going on now. But listening to audiobooks, and also one really cool thing is that you can get audiobooks through an app called Libby, which is, you can get it through your library. So I have a steady stream of books coming in, and that is really, really awesome. Someone asks, how did I meet April Wilkerson, and how did we become such great friends, even though we live so far apart? We actually met in a bathroom 4 years ago, or maybe even 5 years ago, because we were at a woodworking convention, and shock of all shocks, there wasn't a ton of women there. So, we ran into each other in the bathroom and we started talking, and we became good friends then. Fast forward a couple of years, we just like basically had paths cross, but didn't know each other. I was feeling really lonely in what I was doing and what I was trying to build. And I'm a big proponent of seeking out friends that are going to challenge you to do things bigger and better than you ever imagined possible before. So I specifically reached out to her and I said, hey, I'm so impressed by what you are doing. Would you be willing to spend some time together? How can I help you so that I'm not just taking, time from you? And so we started talking. I flew out to Texas and spent a week with her, and we've been pretty much best friends ever since. And now, because we're doing a lot more of the same stuff now, we tend to try to really we try to get together as much as possible. We try to seek out the same kinds of sponsorships, and we go to the same events so that we can, have intentional time together, even if we're working. And that also makes work events just way more fun. Jackman Works says, if you had to drive one car for the rest of your life, what color would it taste like? It would taste like peaches. that would be absolutely. Peach is the best taste in the entire world, and not artificial peach. I'm talking like fresh picked off the tree peaches. All right. Someone wants to know about pizza, and I will just definitely say that the wood-fired pizza oven will be a huge staple of the new shop. So literally, as soon as, the only thing about them is that they need to have a cover on them. And so I'm going to be installing one as soon as the porch is on the building. That pizza oven will be put in, and I will start putting the pizza. If it turns out that the building is going to be delayed, more than a few months or whatever, then I'm definitely just going to build a shelter for a pizza oven. We're going to start cooking pizza right now, because I will definitely say that I already mentioned peaches. I miss my peach tree. But the wood-fired oven, I used it to cook almost every single day. So I've definitely need that. The pizza's coming. What's my best musical instrument? Mandolin, definitely. I can play pretty much every instrument, but I'm not super good at any of them. But the mandolin is my favorite. And I built a mandolin, so if you want to see that video, self-promotion, go check that out on my channel. All right, someone really loves salt. Not sure what that's about. I would love to come to South Africa. That's one of the few places I haven't spent much time, and I need to. It's amazing. Let's see here. Was it a golden egg from the chicken? Absolutely. It was golden in my heart. And ducks, I will be getting ducks, but I want to have the infrastructure for them before I actually bring them here. Novel concept. What kind of sweatshirt do I wear? It's from Nakatano, Now Wanakome. Audiobooks are the best. What sound equipment am I using? I use this is saddest day in the world. Thank you to my jerk goats. I use a Sony lavalier mic that they chewed up, so I get to fix that later. But yeah, I mean, right now I'm just using my AirPods, so there's that. You want to see a video when I'm doing a repair on a hand tool? Yeah, happily. I will absolutely make a video like that. And what's the last show that I binged? Okay, well, here's the thing. I actually do really like TV, but the problem is I get sucked in really easily, and I genuinely can't afford to do that. However, Adam was watching Tiger King, and he's like, oh my gosh, you have to watch this just so that we can talk about it. And so, yeah, I'm ashamed to say that I binged Tiger King, and boy, what a world we live in. Yes. Can I remember if I have? Oh, I have recorded my music, and no, you may not listen to it. It's embarrassing at this point, but I will say that actually some people did ask whether they were going to see Adam on the channel or not. I don't think that we're probably going to see him on the channel, but maybe we can. We'll see. However, he is getting our recording equipment that we didn't have. We weren't able to set up our recording equipment in Seattle at our farm because the house was much smaller than the house that we'd moved from. And so that's all been in storage. So anyway, he's working on getting that set up. So one thing I would really like to incorporate into the videos once, you know, we have that stuff set up is some of our music that we've written together and recorded together. Because that's actually, I mean, well, that's how we met. We met when I was 15. We played in a Beatles cover band together, and the music never stopped. Adam is incredibly talented. He's the most talented musician I've ever met, and that is, yeah, he's amazing. I am a hack at best. I try to sing, and I write a lot of music, and we have fun playing music together. So anyway, I do hope that whether or not you actually see him on the channel or not, you do actually get to hear some of our music, because we have actually like recorded albums and stuff. And I mean, not like, you know, they're not out there in the world, but we have recorded a lot of music, and we hope to record, you know, a lot more. And do we want to collab on a track, Interactive Realm? Well, send me a DM. We can talk about it. Black olive, bacon, onion, pepperoni, and mushrooms on a pizza sounds delicious and delightful. Come to Nova Scotia when it's safe. Oh, you know what? I will also say that one other show that I did watch was The Curse of Oak Island, hashtag Nova Scotia. So I absolutely want to come and see. Ty Made It ask what keeps me motivated, and I will be 100% honest and tell you that, like, sometimes, like, because, you know, I struggle with anxiety and depression, like, sometimes nothing can really motivate me. But one of the biggest reasons that I did start farming was because it created a natural rhythm and schedule and necessity for my time, focus, and attention. And so a big part of having animals, especially animals that I milk. So I started doing dairy goats 5 years ago. Now I have a milk cow. A big part of that actually has nothing to do with the milk, although it is really awesome to, you know, have milk to make soap and cheese and yogurt and all that stuff. The motivation was because the animals rely on you to milk at a certain time every single day. And not doing that is actually very detrimental to their health. And so where I was really struggling to, you know, get out and do the things that I needed to do, that adding animals that relied on me, like, the thing is, I don't care. I've milked a goat while I'm actively throwing up before. Like, it's, you know, farm life gives you no breaks, but that is actually really good for me because there is no state that I would ever be in that I would allow one of my animals to be uncared for. And so at the very least, even in like the worst bouts of depression or anything else, like, I will not go out and take care of my animals. And generally speaking, I found very quickly that just the simple act of going out and taking care of them, like, getting dressed, getting out of bed, or at least being out there in my pajamas, like the physical motion of that really helped to kickstart the rest of my day. So, like, no matter what, I would have that win, and then I would be able to, you know, use that win of taking care of my animals and, you know, apply that, you know, centrifugal force or whatever to the next thing that I was doing and the next thing after that. So having animals is very, very important to me, and that does keep me motivated. It also, like, you know, even on all this crazy stuff, you know, there's a lot of, I have it good. We live on a farm. There's still some emotional things that have happened, and like, you know, just being isolated for 3 weeks, and also, you know, worrying about being able to take care of my employees even if they're not able to work and all that stuff. Like, it's been an interesting season. But in the midst of that, I mean, I still have to milk my goat. I still have to milk my cow and the baby animals that are around. Like, there's no way that, you know, your spirits can't be at least a little bit lifted by having them around. So that's why I have animals. Someone asked if I smile even when I'm sleeping. Actually, so this is a funny thing, because I grew up with basically the two best parents that I could have possibly asked for. My mom saw a lot of my struggles early on and basically taught me how to cope with all of those. And one of the coping mechanisms that she really, really taught me very well was how to look on the bright side of everything, and at the very least to always find something to smile about. So I actually do pretty much always smile. Like when I'm really concentrating, sometimes I won't be smiling. But my husband even says, like, I smile when I'm crying, which is really, really creepy. But the thing is, it really, my name is Annie Joy, full of joy. And my mom taught me how to live up to that, even in, dark times. Like I'm very good I have a pretty dark sense of humor. So even in dark times, I'm still able to find things to smile and to laugh about. And yeah, that's that. What am I sitting on? Oh, this little bouncy chair. It bounces. That's probably why I'm moving around so much. And also the bouncing helps me to focus. So between bouncing, chewing gum, and listening to EDM, I'm able to focus enough to to answer emails and do things that require me to sit at the computer, because sitting at the computer, or basically just sitting down in general, is very, very difficult for me. You and your wife own 12 cats and 3 dogs. Do you think that's too much? I mean, you have to be the judge of that. If you can care for them and love them and give them the time and the attention that they deserve, and then you just live your best life. How are the llamas? Well, I actually only had alpacas, which is confusing because one of them's name was Dalai Lama, but they are actually really great. I was actually just talking to the new farmers at our old place, and they are just like really enjoying them. They bought one of my favorite books about how to care for alpacas and camelids, which they're in the camel family. So alpacas, llamas, camels. Anyway, they said that they're doing great. They send me pictures every once in a while, and it breaks my heart and also makes me happy at the same time. Because the thing is, we really couldn't bring them. Bringing them here would have been selfish for a lot of reasons. And so I had to make a very difficult decision to leave them. However, I am actually looking for some alpacas here because they really, really lit up my whole life, and I can't wait to have them again. So if any of you know anyone who's trying to find a good home for an alpaca that needs it, well, a few alpacas that need it, please let me know. All right. The chair bounces. Yes. All right. So here's the thing. We have 12 minutes left. And I have to just, use my amazing technological. Okay. So from 2 p.m. Well, wait a minute. After me is Tim Sway. So make sure you go check out Tim Sway on his channel. He'll be going live as well. And also, I just want to say a huge thank you to Arbortech too for hosting this. I really hope that this series has lifted people's spirits and give them some things to think about, or at least encouragement and things to smile about. Please do actually keep the questions and stuff coming. I'm more than happy to answer them after this is all over. All right, let's see here. Do alpacas purr? They don't purr per se. They do make this really weird, like grunting, grinding, like snoring noise when they are making sweet, beautiful love. And it's very interesting. I have many recordings of it. So if you want to hop onto my Patreon, I will post a video of my alpaca making that noise. They also actually do this kind of, they're prey animals, but they're really good flock guardians because they're constantly on the lookout. So they actually will make this crazy screeching noise, which kind of sounds like a horse whinnying, which allows the animals around them to know that there's a predator or something, and sometimes we'll startle the predator and make them go away. But yes, alpacas do make noises, and they're very, very interesting little creatures. They're basically, in every regard, like giant cats. They are also very, very cute giant cats. But basically, if you are really interested in them and want to know what they're doing, they could not give 2 craps about you. They only want to be very curious about you and be part of things on their own terms, much like a cat. So yes, excellent. Am I getting bees again? Well, I certainly hope so. I have put some swarm traps up in our wooded area, and I'm really, really hoping the honeybees have been out, so that would be really awesome. And I also kind of put the word out with my neighbors that if they have a swarm or something, I don't think gonna buy bees this year, just because like finances are pretty tight, and also just that would be yet another project that if it falls into my lap, I'm happy to do, overjoyed, let's be honest, to do, but I might, be a little bit less proactive this season, but surely by next year we'll be back in it again. Do I manage to make much of a living from YouTube? Yes and no. I mean, because I have a YouTube channel, I have a platform to have a business that is financially viable. But from YouTube, no. I mean, like, even if a video does pretty well, I usually make about like $30 or $40 from it. So, and it quite frankly costs me about $1,200 to produce every video that I make. And so if it weren't for, the other things that my audience size provides, then definitely I would not make a decent living on YouTube. Yeah. So how's my new shop coming on? Well, the pad is very flat, and that's about as far as we've gotten. Swarm season has already started in North Carolina. Oh man, you already had 3 swarms. That's awesome. Hey, Pictish Prince, how's it going? Yeah, I cannot wait to see my new garden or my new everything develop here. I mean, I allowed myself a little pity party this week because, like I said, we haven't been able to go to the grocery or anything like that. And I just miss going outside and picking things fresh out of my garden. But we do have, we are very lucky in the fact that a lot of our neighbors have gardens and stuff like that. So we're all trying to do everything that we can to help each other out and take care of each other in the meantime. And that's also why it's even more exciting that my chicken just laid one of my chickens just laid its first egg today. So yeah. Not sure. Oh, Fred McIntyre asks if I've used any of the Arbortech products, and absolutely I have, and I absolutely love them. In fact, secretly, when I am working on my Windsor chairs, I actually secretly have used an Arbortech on part of the chair on almost all of them, because in fact, actually on the Democratic chair, which you can only kind of see, it's that boop, it's that one right there. I carved almost the entire seat of that with an Arbortech, literally just because I wanted to prove a point. Because I really am trying to encourage people to, do traditional woodworking and things like that. I didn't include that in, I think I showed it in one of the videos how I was using it, but I actually now need to make I'm pointing to the wrong place. I now need to make a whole bunch of Democratic chairs because we don't have a table or chairs in our house. And so I absolutely will be using some Arbortech tools to speed along the process. The thing is, though, that it starts the process and it removes a ton of material in a hurry, but you do actually still have to go back and finish it with hand tools because, I mean, we don't sand a lot. We want like a tool finish on those chairs, especially the Democratic chairs. So yeah, you can definitely cheat. And I mean, it's not cheating. If you get work done and it's fun to do it, who cares how it got done, honestly. So what was this riding around on the mini bike? Oh, okay. So yeah, one other video that I've been working on, because again, I mean, you're for the most part seeing videos on YouTube like 8 to 12 weeks after we've filmed them. Just because it takes so long to get them edited and, all that stuff. So the mini bike is actually finished now. I have been working on that. That was I'll just quickly tell this story, but when I first got to Seattle, one thing that when I first moved from Taiwan to Seattle, one thing that I've always been obsessed with is go-karts, mini bikes, basically any little motor that can take me from point A to point B. I've been obsessed with my whole life. I spent a lot of my young childhood trying to make various different things of go-karts, but my dad didn't have any tools, and I also didn't know how to use them, so they were never very successful attempts, but there was thousands of attempts. Anyway, when I first moved to Seattle, I was driving around my old neighborhood one time, and I saw a power washer and a bicycle in someone's like trash pile out in front of their house, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I grabbed both of those. I ended up finding a scooter, like a little battery powered scooter as well, and I chopped up the frames of those. I used my Hobart welder that I think I got for like $100 on Craigslist. It was my first welding project. I made the most rinky-dink little mini bike that you ever did see. The chain fell off all the time. Like, it was my first welding project, so it was not great. But anyway, that little mini bike, it has gone through many different iterations. I most of the time that I was working on it was before I was on YouTube or anything like that, so you haven't seen videos of it. But when we came out to look at this property, I met one of the neighbors, and it like as I drove up to the property, I saw 3 mini bikes in his yard, and I was like, yes, we are moving to the right place. So I was actually, Adam got really mad at me for bringing my mini bike, but I was like, oh, we're moving to a neighborhood where mini bikes are awesome and exciting, and I am absolutely bringing my mini bike. And so first thing that we did, that I did with the neighbor, was we chopped the back end of my mini bike off and pulled it out and made, like just a dumb addition that we put a racing slick on it, and we stretched out the back end, and got it like really, really running well again. The next thing that we're going to do is actually rebuild and put like rebuild the motor so that it's a performance motor, so it can actually go like 60, 70 miles an hour. Ridiculous ways to spend time, but I absolutely love doing stuff like that, and I'm so pleased that I finally have people to do that with. All right, so that's Michael, what you were seeing is, if you are on my Instagram, you'll see a dumb video that Jacqueline made for me, that's basically juxtaposed with me riding my mini bike, with Dumb and Dumber clips, and it's hilarious. Go watch it. She's amazing. All right. Do I keep in touch with April much? We talk almost every day. She's my best friend. Steve from Arbortech. Yes, that marketing bump. You love that. Okay, it's 1:58 here, or yeah, so 2:50. Wow, I don't know. Anyway, it's time to go over and check out Tim Sway on YouTube. So make sure that you do that. He's going live for the Global MakerFest next. Thank you so much, Arbortech, for having me. This has been a blast. Let me see what else I can answer in the last 2 minutes. Have you ever done a wood carving? Check out my channel. I have about 15 videos on that. There's a beetle going to and fro in the background. Ba-dum-bum. Oh my gosh, that was such a great timber framing joke. You deserve a gold medal for that. Transom. Yes, have I noticed how large the flies are? Absolutely. I saw a bee that was basically the size of a small robin fly by my head the other day, and I realized I'd made a huge mistake. Big Lou, thanks so much for that. I'm so pleased that you have been watching the gardening stuff. I absolutely love that. And I'm really always try to be helpful. So if you do watch my videos, then please comment other videos that you'd like to see me make, because that's the whole point. They're called democratic chairs because they can be done in, sorry, I'm pointing at the wrong place again. They're called democratic chairs because they can basically be done using the tools that using a small tool set, using whatever wood can be found or you have on hand. And so, whereas like these more complicated Windsor chairs require a whole lot more tools like a lathe and more bending forms and more complicated skill sets, the democratic chairs, are just basically easier and cheaper and everything to make. Stu, thanks so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here. All right, I'm going to sign off so that you all can go check out Tim Sway. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that you took some time in your day to be here. I hope you leave feeling challenged, inspired, and excited to get outside and do things with your own hands as well. Cheers, guys. Actually, I don't know how to end this.